Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm really glad you're here. Today we're talking about narcissists and healthy relationships. I'm Rita Hickman, a body mind expert and a shiatsu massage therapist, and I help women who are in toxic and narcissistic relationships. If it's they're wanting a divorce, in the middle of a divorce, healing from a divorce, wanting to start a new relationship. Maybe they found somebody new who's healthier and they want to heal the problems with their family. Maybe it's one of their children. Maybe it's something from their past that's still haunting them. Some sort of abuse, whether it's trauma of sexual, physical, emotional. Either way, narcissists come in a wide variety of forms and a wide variety of behaviors. But the main point for narcissists is that their focus is entirely about them. Doesn't really matter the reason. It's that their whole mission in life is to protect themselves at all costs and that everybody else is an enemy. So, how do you have a healthy relationship with a narcissist when all they do is think about themselves 90% of the time? And it comes from a fear base, comes from an insecurity, lack of experience, and usually PTSD, a childlike, overwhelming reaction to something that doesn't fit in with their world. Well, pretty much if you're dealing with a full blown narcissist, you can't. There's no way you can have a healthy relationship with a full blown narcissist because, by definition, they don't care about anyone else but themselves. And a healthy relationship, by definition, has mutual respect, mutual trust, mutual care. So, what do you do? What do you do when you have a narcissist in your relationship? Well, you have to decide for yourself whether the relationship is worth it or not. A narcissist has a lot of stumbling blocks, a lot of walls, a lot of issues that they need to work through, just like you do, but probably more. And it's no shame if you look at someone and say, you know what, you need a lot more help than I can give you. Because at the end of the day, you shouldn't feel bad about walking away from someone who is incapable of caring about you. They really need to care about themselves first, and they need to get some help, and they need to figure out what a healthy relationship looks like. It doesn't look like what they've been doing for a long time. Now, maybe you came from a family where you didn't have any role models, where you didn't see a healthy relationship. So if you were like me, you thought a healthy relationship was a unicorn. It was something fantastical. It was something that didn't exist. But let me tell you, a healthy and a good relationship is based on some basic principles. They're based on mutual empathy, mutual compassion, mutual respect, mutual love, not just for each other, but for ourselves as well. If you aren't encouraged to have that, um, if you don't feel you deserve that, then you're not creating a healthy relationship either. A healthy relationship needs two parties who are pulling in the same direction towards a positive goal. And the way we get there is by supporting one another, by looking out for each other, by being compassionate with our own difficulties and roadblocks, and compassionate with the other person's as well. You can't have a healthy relationship unless both people, you and them, have the skills and the abilities to create them and want to create them. If a narcissist, many times a narcissist is in trouble, they create problems for themselves. They get into this position of being a narcissist because they have no idea how to create a healthy relationship. They don't even know it'll work. They don't have any experience with it. It doesn't mean that they don't want one. It just means that it's so far outside of what they can even consider, that it's not even an option for them because they're either too broken or have bipolar or some other physical thing that causes them to overreact, or they just have a hard time getting out of their head and focusing on something else. There is a spectrum. You know, when you get to a diagnosable label of narcissism, then there really isn't anything that you can do. If someone is a full blown narcissist, then their problems really are way bigger than what you've got. But there is a spectrum. Every single person should, if they're healthy, have a level of narcissism, a level of self-protection. And that should kick in when you're really in danger, when there's really something going on. Then it should be, is it going to be me or you? Guess what? It's going to be me. But that shouldn't come up very often. We shouldn't be in that place of terror where it's us against the world, even though that's what all the advertisements and all the competition and all the everything says, that it's me against you, me against you. Both people have to start to realize that it can't be adversarial. It can't be I'm your enemy and you're my enemy. To have a relationship, you both have to be on the same side. Sometimes you disagree. Sometimes you have differences of opinion or things that you're not good at, or flaws, or mistakes, or weaknesses, or things that you have a hard time managing or controlling. A healthy relationship is when you can find somebody else who's able to deal with your baggage, and you find someone who's able to deal with yours. A narcissist has a lot of baggage, and they need someone who's professional. They need someone who has lots of experience in helping people heal, just like you do. A lot of your needs, if you came from a narcissistic or abusive childhood, you need more than therapy. You need more than a lot more involved. It involves practice and skills and changing how you think and being exposed to new ways of thinking. That's what these live streams are about. If you have constant exposure to new ways of thinking, then you start to behave differently. When you start to behave differently, your relationships turn out differently. So you may get healthy and then look at the person who's in your life and say, you know what, you're pretty narcissistic, but I know that you want a healthy relationship, so let's work on this. Or you'll look at the narcissist and say, you know what, you've got so many issues. We aren't good for each other. You need more help than I can give you, and I need more help than you can give me. I'm not willing to do this anymore. And then you're able to walk away. Because in this big, giant world, there's lots of people for each person, and we're each there for a specific lesson, for a specific message or insight to bring. You don't have to hold on to people once that's done. Even though you may be coming from a place of fear because of your childhood and abandonment and maybe abuse or other trauma, but you have to start looking to get healthy relationships, people who know what healthy relationships look like, people who offer you healthy relationships and help you think that way. Only when you're grounded, only when you're standing in your own power and you can handle your own emotions and you've got lots of support, that's when you might consider having someone who's more narcissistic in your life. But as long as you two are toxic to each other, it's never going to be healthy. There may be moments of healthy, and maybe those moments get a little bit bigger. And if both people, as I said, are pulling in the same direction, the narcissist stops being such a narcissist. They learn how to manage their underlying physical issue. They work through the pain and the electrical charge that's in their system from the trauma. And you do too. Sometimes you can do it together with somebody because their head knows that they want to have something good, and your head knows that you want to have something good, and you're able to deal with each other's issues. But a lot of narcissists, they aren't that deep. They haven't done that much work. They're still trapped in that loop of being 4 or 6 or 8, where the world has to revolve around them, or they're not safe, or they have to be in control or feel in control of everything, or they're not safe. It's a very underdeveloped point of view. And you can't have a healthy relationship with someone who behaves like a child because they're still trapped in that past. But you can have a healthy relationship with someone who looks at themselves, loves the other person, has respect for themselves, respects the other person, empathy, compassion. That's how you have healthy relationships, and they really do exist. You have to develop it. You have to work with someone to develop it. Maybe somebody's worthy. Maybe somebody's got enough, just enough that you can work with this. You can work with this challenge and build a relationship, but other people don't. And that's okay, because you are not helping them by encouraging their toxic behavior. You're not helping them by keeping them stuck and keeping them from getting further support or maybe hitting bottom. You know, many people need to hit something that's very painful and very uncomfortable before they start to shift how they think. And you have to let them do that. But it doesn't have to affect you. You can take your space, you can get out of the relationship, you can keep a distance, you can go no contact. But many times relationships are tricky. The first step is to start looking at yourself and looking at how you can get the help that you need. And when you know how to have a healthy relationship and how to build a healthy relationship, that's when you want to look for your partner. And maybe it's the one that you're already in relationship with. Maybe it's somebody new, but it doesn't really matter. You can't have a healthy relationship with someone who is trapped in a narcissistic mindset. It's not possible because it's all about them. But you can have a healthy relationship with someone who struggles with narcissism, but doesn't want to be that way and sincerely wants to have healthier relationships and knows something is possible, but doesn't quite know how to do it, but's willing to try to learn. Even then, so then if someone has higher narcissistic tendencies, you're able to work on making the relationship healthy, okay? If you feel stuck, if you know women who are trapped in narcissistic or toxic relationships, pass these videos on to them. There's a lot of options available. I do one-on-one coaching. We have a beautiful, beautiful support group of women who have had narcissistic relationships throughout their life. They're successful, they're smart, they're funny, they're intelligent, they're engineers and psychologists, they're teachers and artists. They're beautiful, amazing women, and they got trapped in narcissistic relationships too. So if you need a little bit of help getting through this, developing the skills, building the muscle of self-respect, learning how to communicate and have tactical empathy, um, reach out, because you don't have to be where you're at right now. You don't have to be trapped. There's ways out, and we can get you there. Okay? I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later.